is for the translated book review. And do you wonder which book we have chosen? We have chosen the book Picture of Dorian Gray, written by Oscar Wilde, and the Vietnamese version is translated by Nguyễn Ling. And this book, the summary, the content is about valuing appearance over morality and ethics. And during the research process, we have found out that this translated version has received a lot of controversy and criticism. And also, we are very interested in this book because the content of this book is about same-sex marriage and the power of art. And to assess this book, we decide to choose a new model because we think that it is a very detailed model with clear steps and it is very familiar with the target audience. So, without further delay, we will get right into the analysis of the Picture of Dorian Gray.
Before getting into the analysis, we would like to mention briefly the new Mars model and its steps. The first step is to analyze the source text in terms of the author's purpose, readership, and quality of language. In step 2, we will identify the translator's interpretation of the source language text purpose, the translation method, and readership. Step 3 is to compare the translation with the original text in terms of title, structures, cultural words, and etc. Step 4, we will make evaluation of the translation based on the translators and critic standards. Step 5 is to assess the likely place of the translation in the target language, culture, or discipline. In step number 1, after reading the book, our group has come to the conclusion, firstly, about the author's purpose. We believe that the book is a defense of the artist's rights and a defense of art for art's sake. Regarding readership, we think that this book is the most suitable for educated laymen or any readers who are interested in the topic of love, arts, or the setting of England in the 19th century. About the quality of language, because the book was first published in 1891, so there are some ancient and hard-to-understand words. Moreover, the book focuses on the gracefulness of the language with jocular dialogues, smart repartees, witty epigrams, paradoxes, and self-created words. Finally, there are available printed copies of the original book, so the language is not illegible.
Let's move to step 2, 3, and 4. The first category we analyze is the title. The Picture of Dorian Gray was translated into Bức họa Dorian Gray. The translator used communicative translation. The translation here is suitable, and the translator does not translate the word of with a view to avoiding ambiguity. We will move on to analyze some translationists in the translated text. Translationist is the awkwardness or ungrammaticality of the translation. Here are some examples. Let's look at the first example. The translator used literal translation method. The error here is misunderstanding with the word surrender into quy hàng. Another error is mistranslation with the sentence I have grown to love secrecy into tôi này nửa tình yêu trong kín đáo. With the word surrender, the suitable meaning in the sentence is giao nộp, and the sentence I have grown to love secrecy actually means tôi bắt đầu yêu sự bí mật. We have come to evaluation that the translator does not achieve pragmatic accuracy in this part. Here is the next example. The translator used shift and semantic translation method. The error here is faithfulness with the term public excitement into một cuộc lên đồng công chúng. The word lên đồng is not suitable. And the grammatical error in the sentence anh từng biến mất đột ngột vài năm trước gây nên. It should be translated into ngồi đấy chính người nghệ sĩ Basil Hallward. Sự biến mất đột ngột của anh vài năm trước gây nên. So the text is not solved and translated naturally. And this is the final example in this category. The translator translates the phrase to realize one's nature perfectly into để nhận ra bản chất hoàn hảo của một người. He used literal translation, and the error here is mistranslation. It should be translated into để nhận ra bản chất của một người một cách hoàn hảo.
The next group is proper names. Let's look at some examples. The first one is some names of places. The translator used different procedures for each names, and this is a really suitable way to do so. For example, the word London, translated as London, is really familiar with Vietnamese people. But if he also applies naturalization to Oxford, it may cause the reader confusion about the place mentioned. Now let's look at the names of people. The translator applied transference for all the names, which can be considered as the best way to ensure the flow of the text. Because if naturalization were used, like in some other translated books, it would be hard for the readers to recognize a character in the source text. Another way that Nguyễn Tuấn Linh translated the names is the use of expansion. This is also highly appreciated as this way suits the Vietnamese writing style when referring characters with high social status, and also this is a way for the readers to clarify the role of the characters. Here is another interesting example of proper names. Nguyễn Tuấn Linh translated the word Englishman as Anglais. This is actually double translation as Anglais is a French word. And in addition, the word Anglais refers to a typical characteristic of Englishmen who are often appears to be calm and hide their feelings very well. The next category is cultural word. Here are 3 examples from the book. You can see that naturalization was used, which is a good translation solution. However, as many readers may not have heard of these words before, they may find it hard to understand. For example, you may not have heard the word handsome, which means a 2-wheeled horse carriage. Therefore, couplets should be used in this case for clarity.
The 5th category for analysis is structure, and here we take 2 examples from Chapter 1 and Chapter 3. These sentences apply the method of literal translation, and both of them made the error for literalness. This is because the translator tried his best to conform to the grammatical structures of the source text. However, this results in awkward and unnatural expressions in the target language. Final category is idioms and puns. The first example is taken from page 22 of Chapter 1. This sentence used the method of semantic translation, and for our evaluation, the parallelism in sentence structures and the use of the adjective good has been successfully transferred to the target language. It retains the aesthetic value and sounds natural in the target language. The next 2 examples are taken from Chapter 3, page 51 and 52. Both of the sentences use the method of idiomatic translation, and we believe that the translator did a good job in using idiomatic translation for some phrases, and here are 2 representative examples. The translated idioms not only keeps the original meaning, but are also familiar to the target language readers.
After all the examples, let's take a quick look at the overall evaluation. Firstly, the translation did not successfully achieve naturalness, as the majority of sentence structures are not seen in Vietnamese writing styles. However, in terms of clarity, many of the proper names have been solved properly, although there are still some unfamiliar cultural words remaining hard to picture. And regarding accuracy, the overall text is translated correctly, but mistranslation and misunderstanding are still seen in several parts in 3 chapters. And lastly, to assess the translation as an independent piece of writing from the original, the majority of the content is understandable. However, because of many unfamiliar sentence structures, reader may have a feeling of interruption in the flow of reading.
We'll move on to step 5, the final step in Newmark model. This book is a novel, so we will assess the work's potential importance in Vietnamese culture. In Vietnam, the concept of art for art's sake, nghệ thuật vì nghệ thuật, is not very popular, while the trend of art for life's sake, nghệ thuật vì nhân sinh, is more common. The translation of this book has brought about a new trend in literature in Vietnam. This book also mentions same-sex relationship, which is also new in Vietnamese works. Translating the book was really difficult because Oscar Wilde composed it in an academic English language and very clever puns. Despite the translator's attempt, the translated book doesn't really deliver successfully the style and the beauty of language of the original work, but it does shows an attempt to bring a valuable work to Vietnamese readers.
So that is the end of our analysis of the book Picture of Dorian Gray. We hope that after watching this video, you guys understand more about the new map model as well as how to apply it into assessing a book. So thank you for watching.